What's up, guys? That Really Ghost Guy here, and we are back, and we are going to be talking about the biggest reveals from Tennocon 2017. Now, this is going to be the biggest, most ambitious thing we have ever had in Warframe up to this point. This is leagues beyond any other update we've ever had, and I am so incredibly excited about this. And this is live gameplay, by the way. This is Rebecca controlling this Excalibur. We saw this actually happening on stage as Rebecca was playing. We do meet up with Megan later, and she is also going to join us on our journey. But we are going to see a lot of new stuff and a lot of stuff that's kind of picking our brain a little bit, such as this right here, which is this giant Orokin piece of architecture, which has this flesh, flesh inside of it, this meat, this nasty inside of it, and we don't know what to think about that yet. I'm not too sure what to think about it. You know, when it comes to this meat either. But we are also seeing that vulture type creature that we have seen in previous dev streams as well. And we see a Corpus ship and this giant Orokin tower. Now we're going to go through this first giant portion of the reveal, and then we are going to jump into a second reveal, which is a little bit shorter, but arguably just as important, depending on what you value in Warframe. But there it is. This looks just incredible. There's Orokin tower, and we are going to now head inside. Don't mind me, I'm going to make sure that we kind of skip ahead to some of the important parts, but we are basically going to head up inside and check some things out. So here we are heading inside of the this little settlement. What we see right off the bat are merchants, lots and lots of merchants, whether they're carrying or they have these fabrics to sell. It looks like rugs, whatever. They're selling that, or whatever those jugs are. We see Corpus in here, Corpus that are not necessarily our enemies. This is a big trade area. We have a lot of merchants and NPCs that we can encounter. Also, other people that are playing the game are also going to be walking around this area. You're going to possibly be able to trade with them, I'm assuming. But I hope that this doesn't get too congested. Maybe this will be one of those instances where you go into different instances, I guess, of the server, so you can join one of many of these places without too many people being in this area, especially for low-end PCs. But you saw there that there was some meat and whatnot, but now here is one really big deal when it comes to Warframe and this new update, and that is going to be literally custom-made weapons. Everything about this is going to be custom-made. The strike, which is going to be basically the blade, or maybe blunt object or whatever. We are going to see it adorned with certain cosmetic type looks. The handle's going to be decided upon depending on what type of weapon we're going to build. If we want a dagger or a staff or a pole arm or machete, we have the choice of actually creating these things. Now, I'm assuming that this is going to be greatly expanded on in the future. Maybe because we see kind of a specific coloration and design around these weapons, maybe these are going to be specific towards this little settlement, and this is going to be tied to them, and then maybe on another planet when they have another settlement or something like that, the weapons might be a little different and craftable. But I am so incredibly excited about that. Not only that, but we can now name these weapons ourselves, so we can decide what to name them. But we're going to head on through just a little bit, and we are going to see more and more merchants, more little areas, other Tenno, and this is just really cool. Now, a lot of this stuff doesn't look like stuff that we are going to be able to purchase, because they're not catering just to Tenno, so it's pretty interesting. But here we are. This is also a guy that we are going to be receiving a quest from. You saw just over here just a moment ago. And then there's D.E. Megan. So we are going to team up with her, and we are going to fight some enemies. But I'm gonna get right into that. So without further ado, we're getting on to the biggest and most important part of this reveal. Alright, so there we go. With the quest accepted from the gentleman and Megan following closely behind, we are heading out these doors. Now, Steve mentioned that we no longer are going to have to necessarily return to our ship. Now, I think that's going to be an option for many reasons, but the point is, we have an open world, and I really dumbed down the volume for this, and all of the cheering you guys can probably hear is through a microphone that was on stage. People were freaking out about this update. Not only that, but Rebecca decides to shoot a bird out of the sky. Very cool, very interesting. I'm a big fan. I am so excited for this. I am so happy. But they are going to head off and kind of explore a little bit, and we will check that out. And here we are as Rebecca is patrolling, and we come across like a small patrol of a Grenier. So we have the option to kill these guys, and you can't hear it, but in my other video I kind of heightened up the volume, but I was in the audience and I just screamed, "Just shoot him!" because I was just excited to get some action going. I was like, I want to see some fun and chaos, and sure enough, Rebecca gave the crowd what they wanted. Everybody just had my back when they were like, "Yeah, shoot him!" And people went crazy. But feel free to check out that other video. That video is talking about a whole lot of new reveals in Warframe. But I wanted to give you the two real big reveals in the game. So at this point, we have arrived at a riverside, and this riverside is, you know, you're looking at the textures, looking at all that fun stuff. But what's so important about this riverside? Well, we're seeing some RPG elements, some really cool, like, MMO type feels in this game. And here we are with a spear, ready to spearfish, and here we have it. Rebecca managed to spear this fish and pull it up onto the shore. That is awesome. We're seeing some really cool stuff with this this update, some stuff that we never thought we would see. At least some people. I hinted it a long time ago at a video, and honestly, I didn't think it would ever reach this scale. But I just said, wouldn't it be funny if Warframe started including like open world, you know, RPG aspects to the game? And I never thought they would leap this far ahead towards that, but crazy enough, they are, and it's so cool. I'm so excited for this. But this is another really exciting part of this this reveal, and that is because people need to get around, especially in an open world. So we're gonna do that using Arcwing, and that is just so cool. I was so happy that they revealed this. No speeder bikes like Destiny, no, like, we all need this aspect to the game, and it is awesome. I'm so excited that this happened. But here we go, Rebecca, just making everybody in the crowd happy. But anyways, it's so cool. It's something I'm so looking forward to. You can see littered throughout the area, there is also sentient architecture, I guess you could call it. There's these sentient leftovers from probably wars past that you see in the water, and that's incredibly interesting. That is a thing, and it makes us curious about what is going on with the sentients and what kind of role they're going to play, and what role did they play way back, you know, during Orokin era. We know a little bit about that stuff, but I'm sure we're going to get a lot of new information in the future. So if you haven't already, go over and check out my my video talking about a lot of the other reveals with Warframe, and we will talk about the sentience in that video. That went up today along with this video, so feel free. I felt like it was really important to check out all the other reveals, not just these big ones. But here we have a giant Grineer base, and this is pretty awesome. Rebecca is going to run a bond in here and start taking care of some of these Grineer. Now, this is all work in progress, keep all that in mind, so we may be encountering more enemies, less enemies. It could be very, very similar to what you're seeing here. And they even mentioned that they are concerned about the game crashing, of course, because this is very work in progress. So, everything does, fortunately, go fairly well, and it leads up to a very important part, which I will skip ahead to. Alright, so here we have some Grineer just dropping in, having a little bit of fun trying to defend their base. So Rebecca is trying to take care of these guys. She is, like I said, she is live playing this. She is sitting on stage with a Xbox controller in her hand, doing this. So, yeah, she's doing her best, obviously trying not to make any mistakes, and obviously hoping the game doesn't crash in the process. But this is a big deal right here, big deal. We got day-night cycles, and according to Steve, the nighttime is not necessarily a time that you may want to be around, unless you're really going. I'm assuming if you really want some end game stuff, you may want to stick around for the nighttime. And I am so excited for this. But our Tenno head out, and we are going to see something rather interesting. Now here we are. We are about to see something that is just pretty remarkable. Now, this thing is climbing out of the water. This appears to be sentient. I believe this is sentient. I could be wrong. I don't know if there's going to be a new faction or race, but it appears to be very, very sentient. But this thing is massive in scale. What the heck? So, are we going to do some epic boss fights, some raids? What are we going to have? What's going to happen? So that is basically the gist of the big reveal, and it is phenomenal. But I do want to make sure I cover one last thing before I end. So here we are at this point. This is a very, very big deal. This is something we've all been waiting for that supposedly was never going to happen. I've heard so many times this was fake. This was never coming to the United States in the global version. But obviously most of you guys know what that is at this point. But
if you could trade, would you? Surely. But all miracles require sacrifice. For their life, yours.
So if you don't know, Umbra Excalibur, the Warframe that supposedly was never coming to America, never coming to the global version, it has been officially revealed. It's happening. It's happening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, blah.